Hi there, this is the fourth in my series, Why Do I Feel What I Feel? And I've been talking this week about where our feelings come from, because what we tend to think is that our feelings are coming from something out there. Something out there is making us feel a certain way. And what I've been pointing to is that there's nothing out there that can actually create any feeling inside of us. We do that. We can only actually experience anything in the world through the lens of our own thought. And really getting some insight into that can make a huge difference into our experience of life. And what I'm not saying is that we need to start manipulating our thoughts and start having better thoughts, positive thinking, all of that. There can be benefit in that. But actually what I'm pointing to is something much more powerful, which is really seeing how much we just create our experience through thought, and that we're looking at thought, at our interpretation of the world, and reacting to that rather than reacting to what's out there. And of course, it's impossible not to see through our lens of thought. So I'm not suggesting you stop doing that. It's just realizing that that's actually what's happening, and that when we're seeing something through a murky lens of our own unhappiness and distress, everything out there meets with our expectations. And just, as I say, just getting some insight into this can make all the difference. It's not really about doing anything. So really what I'm asking you to do is just to take a step back and just to reflect on that, and just to start noticing how much our thoughts get revved up, and we just get ourselves into more and more of a state of a pickle about things. And it's not the things out there, the circumstances, that are doing it. It's us doing it. And that's such a source of leverage when we start to realize that. Because what that means is that, our feelings are not telling us anything about what ought to happen out there, what we need to do. Because very often it feels like, it's only by changing those outside circumstances that we can get to feel better. And of course, if you're experiencing something like loss, or children having left home, splitting up from a partner, something like that, you can't change those circumstances. They are as they are. And often we know that that's the right way. If children have left home and we're feeling lonely, we know that that's the natural way of things, but we're still feeling these feelings. And so what I'm trying to point to is that actually, once you see that those feelings are created through our own thought lens, you just don't have to worry about them so much. What if actually, rather than spending all that effort trying to get rid of feelings, we could just feel them and know that it's natural for them to come and to go. We don't need to build a whole lot of meaning about them. We don't need to think about how to change the circumstances or stress over how we can't change the circumstances, because it's not coming from the circumstances anyway. And that somehow cuts into that cycle of thinking that just, when I do this, I'm sure you can relate to that stuff going round and round in your head. If you can just cut into that and go, no, I don't need to try and work it out, try and sort out, try and do something. I can just allow myself to feel and allow it to go away again, and allow thoughts to come and to go, and just see that that's the natural way of things. So things don't actually have to be a certain way in the outside world for me to be okay, to feel okay. It looks that way, and that's what we've always been taught. And, it's just so familiar to think that feelings come from the outside world. But they don't. So I hope that there's something in there maybe that you hear that might be useful, and perhaps you just start observing what's happening when you get going on these thoughts of whatever it is that keeps churning around in your head that seems like it's coming from the outside. Just start to notice that maybe it could just be the lens that you're looking through. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, then please get in touch, message me, or visit my website. And if you are interested in joining me on my program, my 12-week program for women at midlife, Permission to Be You, then you can find the link here on this page, and I'd be delighted to have a conversation with you about that. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.